Okay, I just realized that in the previous video, the computation for problem number 1, it's not really that trivial. So let's work this out in detail. So first thing I want to remind you is that this is a dot product of two vectors. You should think of it that way. And so let me write this. So this parenthesis to the power 3/2, it's just kind of a scalar under the whole thing. So we can, maybe I will take one step to write it as, if you add up, it's 10 to the 10t to the fourth to the power 3/2, right? That's the denominator here. And then on top, again, you have the dot product. Let me copy that so that we're only doing one thing for each line. So 2t, 6t, dt. Okay, so the numerator, so a dot product of two vectors is you multiply component-wise, right? And then add up. So it's t squared times 2t, which is 2t cubed, plus 3t squared times 6t, which is 18t to the 3. So that's numerator. Denominator, so it's kind of sticky. So you have a power 3 over 2. So 3 over 2, what does that mean? So if you want to kind of write it out in a way that we're more familiar with, power 3/2 is 1.5. So that means if you kind of distribute it in, you get 10 square root of 10, right? Because 10 has power 1, square root is power 1/2. So together they make power 3/2. So the same thing, t to the fourth, it's t to the fourth square root of t to the fourth. So I know this step you have many ways to write the denominator, but depending on how comfortable you are with the algebra, you can kind of, for example, you can go immediately to like t to the 6 if you know what's going on. So let's keep going. The numerator is now 20t to the 3, and then denominator is t to the 6 dt. And then there's something you can cancel. So you can cancel a t to the 3. You have t to the 3 left in the denominator. And then you can also cancel a 10, both on top and bottom. So 20 becomes 2. So let's, and then it maybe helps to pull the coefficient out to the front. So 2 divided by square root of 10 out in the front. And then where you're left is t to the negative 3, right? Because this 3 is in the denominator. So if you want to kind of write it as a numerator, it's negative 3 dt. And then this is, now the rest of it should be easy. So if you integrate, it's, you should add 1 when you integrate, right? So it's negative 2, and then you put a new power in the denominator. And then t should go from 1 to 2. And then so this 2 cancels with this 2, and then you have an extra negative, so negative 1 over square root of 10. And then so this step, I'm gonna kind of write it as 1 over t squared, right? So it's 1 over 2 squared minus 1 over 1 squared. And that should give us the final answer. You should still pretty much kind of do one more step, but it's at this point very believable that the final answer will be 3 square root of 10 over 40. And by the way, to kind of get rid of the square root in the denominator. So we usually don't want a radical in a denominator. So to get rid of that, you just multiply by square root of 10, both on top and bottom. And then the bottom will become 10, right? And that's how you kind of move the square root of 10 to the top. And the rest of it should be easy. Okay.